Moving on to a couple other questions I had. So first, I'm going to address this to Dr. Maughan. Other experts in the field have noted the potential opportunity for nurturing future blockchain projects within SBIRL, the Small Business Innovation Research Program. Do you see any other areas within the federal government that could help facilitate the establishment of blockchain projects or pilots? Certainly within DHS, but other spots as well.
I think the applications are almost limitless, and I think the question is really up to the departments or agencies as to how they try to address that. We have, from a science and technology perspective, we have taken a fairly good leadership position so far within the government. We're talking about other applications where blockchains might be usable, and we have also used our Silicon Valley Innovation Program to fund startup companies to look at some of these techniques and technologies. In fact, the pilot we're doing with the Border Patrol on data imagery is with a startup company out of Texas.
Great, thank you. Mr. White and Mr. Rubio, specifically with respect to collaboration and standardization, what are some of the lessons your companies have learned that will help you utilize blockchain technology at scale?
So in terms of lessons, I think this item of standardization is critically important. We need to understand what standards are out there. For instance, you know, if we look at just end-to-end supply chains, UNICE codes or the way that we define inland points varies depending on what geography you're in. And then also, are they specific enough to really nail down, you know, what the geography is that if you're talking about multiple facilities within a common zip code, for instance. So the ability to sort of embrace and tackle some of those challenges, I think as an industry we have to do it. It's something, of course, Maersk and UPS could do individually, but then if we're both calling it something different, it makes it a challenge. So I think coming together through these advisory boards and these standards committees, I think it's really important to prioritize what are the most important standards to get alignment on, and how can we move that forward. And in addition to joining these established organizations, between Maersk and IBM, with our new platform, we're looking to establish an industry advisory board, you know, making sure that we have participants from ports, terminals, other carriers, inland carriers, customs entities, if we can, to make sure that we look at it from a collaborative, multi-perspective position.
Thanks.
And the lessons that I'm learning personally in this space is being involved in some of these working committees, but as you sit through and you look at defining standards for how we're going to communicate and collaborate via blockchain, there are painstaking issues over data that you will exchange. And so it's fascinating to listen to the different players and their perspectives of what information would be useful to exchange and what information would not. So it is in driving the standards, it's not a trivial task, but it's an important task, and in the end, you end up with a very sound product. And my first-hand experience is that's how we did it with CBP, and you guys should be proud of the work that they've done so far.
Absolutely, thank you. One last question, again, Mr. White, Mr. Rubio, Dr. Maughan. Given its jurisdiction over NIST, what can this committee do to ensure that the U.S. is cultivating a supportive environment for blockchain technology projects? Dr. Maughan,
well, I think, I mean, certainly in our role within DHS, we work a lot with NIST and in the roles there. They've published documents identifying blockchain overview and how that all works. And I think just a continued participation in the standards community is an important part for NIST participation, and we've certainly been working with them on that.
Great, thanks.
The interaction we've had with DHS and CBP has been very positive. We've been working with the EU Core project for the last 18 months to try and understand how they're approaching digitization, and CBP and DHS have been supportive of that. And then also, as we're developing our platform, trying to learn from those lessons, that continued support and looking to how we can work with other partner government agencies, I think they've been very constructive in that process.
Great. Thank you all so much. I'll yield back.